Hi guys, you are welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, you are welcome. The name is Akai. Today we are coming to learn or make a skirt and a top that is trending. The skirt is called Egyptian skirt and the top is a crop top with the elastic at the bottom and the hands. So that's what I'm sketching now. I've sketched the skirt. So the skirt, we'll join it at the hip. It's called hip yoke. We'll join it at the hip. Then we add band at the waist. Then the bottom part will be gathers. I don't like pleats. I want gathers. And the top too, we have round neck. We slit the back and had loop so that we fix buttons. And the sleeves will be elastic and the bottom part will be elastic 1 inch and the sleeves will be half an inch elastic. So let's get right into it. So now we are coming to cut the skirt first before we cut the top. So I'm rolling a line. I'll add 2 inches allowance at the bottom for the hem line. So the skirt length is 30 inches minus 12. The 12 is the hip yoke, the one I said we'll join at the hip before the gathers come. We'll deduct 12 inches from 30 inches. So the remaining will be 18 inches. So 18 inches, then we had 2 inches sewing allowance, if that makes sense. So that's what I'm marking. So I'll cut it, then we cut the yoke. So I'm rolling the line, then I'll cut the 18 inches. The fabric I'm using is a chiffon fabric and it stretches. It's not that light chiffon, it's very thick. It's a little bit thick and it stretches. And the surface is rough, it's not smooth. I don't know the name that the original name, but I know it's a chiffon. So we are coming to cut the yoke. So that one is 12 inches. There will be a zipper at the back of the skirt. So I'm measuring 12 inches. Then I'll measure another 12 inches again because we have to cut 2 pieces, front piece and the back piece. So cut the second one. So we are cutting the second one. After that, then we pin the zip line and shape the skirt, the waist and the hip. We'll use the measurement to shape it. So the back piece will be the front piece will be on top of the back piece. So that's the zip line. So we are now coming to measure the things. So you pin the zipper line. It's 1.5 inch or 1 inch. It depends on how you want it. You come down from the top 1 inch, then you shape it. Only the front, the back is not included. It's only the front. So that's what I'm marking now. Now we use the measurement to the waist is 36. 36 divided by 2 is 18. 18 divided by 2 is 9 inches. Plus that allowance 1 inch and sewing allowance 1.5 inch. That's what I've marked there. And the hip is 44 divided by 4 is 11. You had 1.5 inch sewing allowance. So I'm marking it. Then you shape the bottom part like you go inwards like 1.5 inch. Then you shape. So I will cut it. Then we cut the top. Then we start sewing. So that's the yoke I'm cutting now. So this is the top part, the waist. You shape it. You come down by 1 inch and shape Yes, now I'll mark the dart. The interval is 9 inches, but the dart is 1 inch. So you notch it so that you know where you will start your dart from. So now the yolk is ready. We'll cut the band. The band, we'll cut it. So we'll gather it and join it to the hip. Yeah. So we'll cut the band. The band is 2 inches and sewing allowance 1 inch, half from the top and half from the down. So 3 inches. So that's what I'm cutting. So make sure you cut everything. So that's the skirt. So we are coming to cut the band. You have to cut it. It depends on how you want it. I want the band after finish sewing, I'll get 2 inches. That's the length I want. So I'll cut it 3 inches and I'll use the 1 inch for the sewing allowance. So I'll mark 3, 3, 3 so that I'll get a straight line and cut it. Then after that we cut the top. So that's what I'm marking now. Then after that I'll cut them. We cut the top. So that's the band. I'll add it to the skirt. Then we go to the next. The next one that we are coming to cut is the top. The top, we won't join the shoulders. It's called summer sleeve. It's join. No join at the shoulders. We are not joining the shoulders. We'll fold the fabric in such a way that you won't join the shoulder. You can see that I'll fold it into 4. So the crop top, you measure your shoulder to waist. You add 2.5 inches or 3 inches to the shoulder to waist. You use the 1.5 for the elastic, the 1 inch elastic. Then the 1 inch will be allowance so that the top will not be too short, because it's a loose top. We'll add elastic at the bottom. So you fold it into 4 like so. Because we'll put elastic at the sleeves, at the hem of the sleeves, we'll measure 10 inches instead of the around hem. No, we are not using the around hem. If you use around hem, it will be too tight. You can't add the elastic. So you measure 10 inches like so, like the one I'm marking. So 10 inches, that's the sleeve, so that we can add the elastic and it won't be too tight. It will be a little bit loose. Then the neck, the width is 3.5 or 4. Then the length is 2 inches. Will come down by 2 inches. Then you shape it. So you can see it's 4. Yeah. So the neck is 4, then 2. So we are not joining the shoulder. Don't join it. Don't slant the shoulder. No, that's not how you cut it. So look at the way I'm doing it carefully. Then you do the length. When you do your shoulder to waist, then you add 3 inches. That's the elastic allowance, the sewing allowance. Yeah. So we cut, then we slit the back because we have to pipe the back. Then we add a loop so that we fix a button at the back, because we are not using a zipper. So that's the measurement I'm using. The bust is 44, so we add 2 inches allowance at the size. So 2 inches allowance at the size, then sewing allowance half. That's what I'm marking. You can see it on the screen now. Yeah, so you root the straight line down. Yeah, so this is how you do it. Then you curve it to you connect the line to the arm hole. Yeah, so we are now coming to cut. After that, then we cut the neck. Then we go to the sewing machine to sew. So I'm slitting the back, then I'll flip it up, then I'll mark the neckline. The neck is round, then I'll cut it. So I'll come down by 3 or 4 is 4 inches. Then I'll connect the line, then cut it. That's the front, and the one I've slitted is the back. So that's it. So after that, we'll pipe the neck. So I'm cutting the size now. After the size, then I'll cut the length. Then we go to the sewing machine to start sewing. We'll sew the shirt, the top first before the skirts. So you fold it like this, then you add the elastic. The elastic is 1/2 inch. So we are now at the machine. We are not joining the shoulders because we didn't cut the shoulder. You remember we didn't cut the shoulder. So you hem the around arm, then you add your elastic. The elastic, we are using the 1/2 inch for the sleeves and the 1 inch for the bottom of the top. So that's what I'm coming to sew now. The elastic, you measure it 15, or it depends, or you can put it into the sleeve, then you see if it's okay before you cut. So I'm sewing where we'll put the elastic. After that, you join the size by 1/2 inch, then you fold the bottom part 1 1/2 or 1 1/4, so that the elastic will not be too tight when you are fixing it or you are putting it in the hole. So that's it. So we finish sewing the sleeve. We will now add our elastic. So we'll cut the elastic and put it in the sleeve. Yeah. So this is the elastic. You measure, I think I measured 15 or so that the sleeve will not be too tight. Oh, okay, then the sleeve is 10 inches, so when you open it, it will be 20 inches. So I cut the elastic. I cut the elastic 14 inches. Not 7, no, it's 14. So 14 times 2, because the sleeve is 2. You put 1 at the left, then you put 1 at the right. So that's what I'm cutting. So 14 inches. Don't mind the car. So where we are at the roadside. So a lot of cars are passing. So we ignore those noise and focus on what we are doing. So I'm inserting the elastic in it. Same style, they have it in the off shoulder. So our next project will be on the off shoulder one. This one is with a shoulder. So the next one will be an off shoulder, if that makes sense. Yeah. And we'll change the sleeve. The sleeve will be a little bit longer and that one to attach the sleeve, it won't be joined together. No, we'll cut and join. Yeah, so I'm putting the elastic in the around hand or the hand. So you cut 14 inches or 15 inches so that it won't be too tight, it will be loose. So after putting it in it, you see how it looks. It's very loose. When you wear it, it won't be too tight on your hands. So I'll do the other side, then we sew. We sew it by 1/2 inch. So both sides is ready. We are now coming to join the sides. Then we pipe the neck and add our elastic. So you watch. When we get to the skirt part, then I'll start talking. I don't want to talk plenty. This video is too long. I've tried editing it so that I'll make it short, but it doesn't work. I've done it about 3 or 4 times, so I said let me do it, leave it like that. So that's why it's long. But you can, if you want to learn, you have to finish watching everything so that you can learn. So that's the size I'm coming to join. It's too long. This video is too long. I'm joining the size, then I'll add the elastic at the bottom. Before you add the elastic, or you sew, when you are sewing the bottom where you insert the elastic, you leave about 2 inches space. That's where you use the elastic to pass through. So you leave 2 inches, you use the elastic to pass through that place. So now hem the bottom part and put the elastic. So that's the sleeve. So you see how the elastic is. We'll pipe the neckline, then we hem the bottom. So you measure 1.5 inch. Yeah, 1.5 inches. Then you sew it all around. Then you leave space in between. It's 2 inches so that you can add your elastic. The elastic, the measurement of the top is, I think, 40 or something. When you open it's 20. So I cut it's 40. Yeah. So I cut the elastic 20 inches. But I realized it's too short, so the waist was too tight. But if you are doing or making yours, make sure you insert the elastic, you measure it, and if you are okay with the measurement before you cut the elastic, so that it won't be tight. So you put it through, then you measure it. When you are satisfied with the measurements, then you cut. So me, I cut 20 inches, then I insert it. But I realized the 20 inches is too tight. It was too tight. So please remember, when you are making your own, don't cut it. Just put it through. When you are satisfied with the measurement, you measure it. When you are okay with it, before you cut the elastic, so that it won't be pieces. And when you are inserting the elastic, to make sure when the elastic is coming to end at the start, at the beginning where you started it, you have to pin it down so that it won't pull inside. If you pull inside, then you have to remove it and do it all over like again. So please pin it down so that it won't pull inside. So I'm removing the pin, but the pin is stuck. But you do it slowly so that you can remove it. So now the elastic has come out finally. So we will now sew a elastic. You let one be on top of the other. One will be at the down, then the other one will be on top. Then you sew it square, like square. You go round. Then you sew it and sew the middle part so that you secure it well, so that when you wear the top, it won't remove. The elastic will not remove or will not pull from the top. This is how you sew it. So now you sew where you use the elastic to pass through, that 2 inches that we left. You seal that place, then we pipe the shoulder, the neckline. After that, then we go to the skirts. So now we are coming to pipe the neck. So I didn't get a bias that matches with the same color, so I used the same fabric to cut the bias and iron it. So we'll use it to pipe the neckline. So I wanted the piping to come to the right side. So you put the piping at the back, then you sew it, then you flip it up out to the front side. But if you want it to go inside, you sew it at the right side, then you flip it up to the inside, then you sew it so it will go inside. But mine, I want it to show, so you put it inside, then you sew it and bring it out, if that makes sense. So this is how it lays. Then you give it top stitches or under stitch before you do. So it's ready now. You can see there's a slit at the back, so we'll add a button to it. So now we are coming to make the skirt. The skirt, we have to make a dart. I've marked the dart. Remember, we notched the dart. The front, when you are coming down from the waist, is 5 inches and the back is 5.5 inches. So that's how you mark it. Make sure when you are sewing, you get a thinner line or a thinner stitch at where the 5 or the 5 inches will stop, so that you won't get a bulky dart, so that it won't be bulky. You have to lie down, it will be small, like thin, so that it won't be bulky at the hip. So that's what I'm marking now. Then I'll sew it, then shape we'll use the measurement to shape it. Then after that, we'll sew our gathers, pull it and join it to the bottom of the skirt. Then we fix our zipper. We'll fix the band first. I want the zipper to go through the band, so we didn't fix the zipper first. We fixed the band first, then you fix your zipper, then you are good to go. Your skirt in the top is ready. So I'm coming to make the back that one will come down by 5.5 inches. The front one is 5 inches. The back one will be 5.5. 5.5. So you pin it down because the fabric is very soft. It's a chiffon fabric. So everything you have to pin it well so that you won't sew crooked lines. Yes, make sure every stitches is straight stitches, no crooked lines. If you sew crooked lines, your things will be crooked. When you are wearing the thing, everybody will say, this thing is crooked. So make sure you sew straight stitches. If you are a beginner and you want to learn how to sew a straight stitches, just cut some pieces or a fabric, then you'll be sewing straight. You roll the lines, just roll the lines straight, then you'll be sewing it. Or you cut pieces, then you sew something like you are sewing a rope, like a rope. You fold one both sides and then you sew it straight like you are sewing a rope. That one will help you achieve your straight stitches. So we are making the back that. After that, then we shape the skirt, then we add our band, then we attach the garters, and we are to go. We are good to go. So that's it. So we are shaping the yoke, the skirt, the upper part of the skirt. That's what I'm sewing. After that, then we sew our garters and attach it. All the time when you are coming to sew your garters, sew it 2 or 3 lines, not only one. You don't pull garters only one line. No, it won't look nice. Even your garters will not look nice. So either 2 lines or 3. You go about it 1, 2, 3 before you pull the garters. When you do 2 or 3, you get a smaller garters. But if you make it 1, it will be big and it won't look nice. So all the time, either 2 or 3 lines before you pull your garters. Sometimes when you are pulling your garters, some can tear. So if you have 3 lines and 1 tear, you can manage the 2. But if you have only 1 and it tear or it's on, you have to go all over again, unsew it and do another garters again. So please use the 3 or 2 lines so that you pull it and you get your nice garters. So I've pulled my garters. I'm coming to attach it to the yoke. Then we'll fix our band and fix our zipper. So you can see the garters is nice and neat. All the time 2 or 3 lines the garters before you pull it. Don't sew one garter line and pull it. It's not nice. It's only lazy people who do that thing. If you want to sew things and sew it nicely so that if you are wearing it, people will be asking, who sew this dress? Oh, it's like a ready-made. Oh no, it's a handmade. It's a friend who did it for me. Yes, a lot of people will recommend you because of the way you sew. But don't be sewing one garter and pull. No, You sew 2 or 3 lines before you pull it, then you get your nice goddess. So I'll iron the band off camera. I've ironed the band off camera. I'm even fixing it. You put stiff in it so that the band will be firm. It won't be fold when you are wearing. You have to put stiff. I use the medium stiff, not the hard one, the medium. So I'm folding it inside and I'll sew it and top stitch it. I'll sew the top too, then fix the zip and hem the down. Then we are good to go. All the time when you sew, make sure you use matching thread for the overlock or the weaving. Like the way we are sewing pink and you use white thread to weave it, it will look nice. So make sure you use the same color. I don't have the weaving machine here. I made a video in the house. If I was to sew it at the shop, like I'll weave it for you to see. I'll use the same color to overlock it or weave it. So please make sure when you are going to weave yours and you don't have the machine, tell the person you want the matching thread so that the thing will be neat and nice. So if somebody is wearing and the person say, somebody sew it for me, people will say, no, you are lying, you bought it. And you say, no, somebody sew it because of the color of the knitting or the overlock or the weaving. So this is the zip. After fixing the zip, make sure you sew the hands so that the lines will be 2. If you sew the first part, you sew the end, the zip, the end side, so that it will stack well. When you are closing the zip, it won't stack in the teeth. If you do it like that, your zip will be spoiling all the time. So remember to keep it in mind. You sew it twice. After fixing the zip, you sew the ends too so that it will secure it well. So after fixing the zip, we'll hem the bottom. Then we are good to go. Please, have you subscribed to the channel? Please subscribe. And if this video is helpful, please give it a thumbs up. So this is the finished look of the 2-piece that we made, the skirt and the top. So you can try it and see. The person is tall, that's why the waist is full. We can pull it up. You can see the elastic there. That's the elastic at the waist. So you can try it and see how it will come out. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Bye. Please give the video a thumbs up.